la maneja necesita blanca de su sister. We're doing King's Choice. I'm just doing for now sound test. Alright, so the stream finally running. Alright, so I'm gonna be continuing with the main plot. I think I have enough resources to push through it. Then we click on Outpost and we start with chapter 57. You send Tabal on a secret mission and he quickly able to gather information and comes back to share with you. Tabal, what do you find out? Your Highness, I saw a criminal. Every single person in this castle is a criminal. I'm talking about Jax, the guy who killed Carrie. Time for a quick action scene. Like I saw like the new Count of Monte Cristo, and like I want my life back. Like the Count of Monte Cristo is like it's one of those. I think it takes place it's medievalish, but more towards the Renaissance because they already got like muskets. And like it's one of those stories that they do like there's as many Counts of Monte Cristos as there are Phantoms of the Opera. Almost better like on Dracula, almost as many, but not as much as Dracula, which is another license-free story that's like being readapted like decennials of times. Like the long and short of it is that I like want my life back because you spend the entire time waiting for like the final battle with the rapiers, like the final sword fight, just like the one you saw in like the classic Count of Monte Cristo movie. Like remember the V for Vendetta's favorite movie. But then like in that movie they just like hit each other with swords a couple of times and then the Count fell down a small flight of stairs and then he was like struggling to get up and I was like, that is like literally the most anticlimactic sword fight in the history of sword fights. I'd be like, cause I'd be thinking like, is the Count like the Witcher that he falls off a couple of steps and then he loses like 75% of his HP bar? The point is that it's ridiculous. Fall damage in general, like most people, but I don't know how much you can like how many flights of stairs the average person can handle. Like if my voice sounds a little iffy, it's because today I also read like I read like 4 chapters of my Saturn Astra book before I started to do the live stream. I usually read the books earlier, like four chapters every one day and then 3 chapters the other day because there's a limit to how much I am physically able to read before my voice starts getting like that. Like remember in like I don't know if you ever saw like Metapocalypse, but I remember Nathan Explosion they gave him a contract in order to read all of Shakespeare's work, and then he tells his drunk friend like it's a tape rolling because I'm gonna read this entire Shakespeare stuff once because he wrote a lot of stuff. And then, like, after he read all of Shakespeare in one take, his friend be like, his drunk friend be like, I know you're gonna get mad. I know you're gonna get mad, but I totally forgot to hit the record button. And then, like, the lead singer of the band is like, he lost his voice after reading, like, Shakespeare for so long. Like, I wonder if this like legitly like a complete audiobook of literally everything that Shakespeare ever wrote. Because like most folks are only familiar with like the only ones that they read in school. Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and Hamlet. But I think he had like other than the 100 sonnets that he has, he also wrote like possibly like I don't know if it's like 80 or like 200. Like he wrote a lot of plays. He was able to live off of it and his family too. And like the joke being is his plays had like double language that the nobles would understand one thing and like the plebeians watching from the outs would also, but it would also have like jokes that only that the commoners would only get. You're startled when you hear Jack's name. It seems that Jack is my father's secret weapon. Dad, but did you learn anything about their plans? He knows he said they're planning to, and under the velos night will tell you everything he heard. And you heard exactly what? Like elaborate a little or something. Whatever. Time for a boss fight. Like it's funny seeing like Galileo Galilei like fighting at like the same level as some other notorious historical dudes fighting. I guess maybe you could perceive your knights as like in here you're chosen warriors from among the dead because some of them are like dead when like because some of them are like dead when the other people are alive and whatnot. And a couple are even fictional, like La Esmeralda from like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, who was written in like the 1800s, but takes place during medieval times. Talbot overhears Aves' plan and tells you all about it. The bastard, and the plan is, he hasn't changed one bit. He'll do anything to get what he wants. We can't stay here any longer, Your Highness. It's too dangerous. No, I will stay. Gotta find out what happened to my brother, I thought. But yeah, like it takes and now each battle takes away like takes like almost a million resources. Almost So what was I? Oh yeah, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame taking place in medieval times. Like you will be surprised how many people like have seen like all of the movies of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, but they haven't like actually sat down to read the actual book. Well, I didn't read the book. I overheard the audiobook back when I had a job in a FIU's library. While I was sorting to the books, I would listen to audiobooks in order to pass the time, and just a good way to like keep one's mind busy while the hand gets the work done. Like the House of Notre Dame is like for the most part a mixed bag. Like it has some fillers here and there, which is like very annoying. And the biggest filler in the House of Notre Dame is like chapter 2. Where it spends like remember like in Tolstoy's that chapter that's dedicated to describing Anna Pavlova's stupid hat. Victor Hugo dedicates like 2 chapters to describing what the Notre Dame looks like. And that's all hilarious and whatnot, but you could just skip those 2 chapters and just like draw a picture or something. Like I don't think that lithographs were that expensive back then. But then again, like putting pictures on a book tends to cost an arm and a leg. Everyone is stunned by your decision, but it's way too risky. Your Highness, it'll be a rash decision you may regret later. I am not making a rash decision. I know it's risky to stay here, but it also gives us a chance to finally slay Aves. Seeing that you made up your mind, everyone falls silent. Now that we know that what Aves is up to, we have a clear advantage over him, and this is our chance to finally defeat him. It is now or never. If you really wish to stay, then I might have an idea. Well, assassination missions in like enemy territory are usually difficult and whatnot. And I'm gonna be saying whatnot a lot, and my brother be like, "Oh, sis, can you please stop saying whatnot in like literally all of your streams and rants?" And then I'd be like, "I'll try, fish, I'll try." But you know, you fall into like a silly little repetitive habit, and then it's just very hard to break us all. But I'll try not to say whatnot every 5 seconds. But then here I go saying the word yet again. But yeah, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. And they always paint La Esmeralda as a Romani maiden, but canonically in the book she's not Romani. The one who's Romani is actually Quasimodo, whose mother abandoned him before stealing a child that was more pleasing to her eyes. Like in the Disney version, Quasimodo, Claude Frollo, like tries to like drown the babies. Like so, it's like I kind of miss back when Disney movies used to be like uber dark, and like The Hunchback of Notre Dame is like one of the darkest Disney movies there ever was. And you forget with like I think they added the gargoyles in order to add some levity into it, because the movie itself is like pretty dark, and I'd be like, like the book itself, I don't think it's like good for like a little kid story, but you know it's a license-free book of a popular IP, so what? So you know it already has fans and whatnot, so they might as well adapt it. Kevin tells you his plan. That's a great plan, but Kevin, can you really promise you won't betray us? If you still don't trust me, then feel free to come up with a better plan yourself. Kevin, I trust you. We'll follow your plan. Yes, Your Highness. And just see how that goes. Robin Hood unlocked. I forgot where we're at. Like I think a lot of like, but yeah, like I was telling you, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame is another one of those stories that has been done to death. They could do a horror movie version of it. Like remember how recently they've been butchering like Winnie the Pooh, and they already have a horror movie plan with like Mickey Mouse and stuff. They could definitely make like make their own creepy, spooky version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I mean, like the Gothic architecture is already spooky enough, even without embellishment. I mean, just look at Bloodborne. That they use traditional Gothic architecture, and like it just looks like something that came out of a horror movie. As the One Piece begins, it doesn't take long for Abe's interest to start to unfold. Abe's lavish banquet is about to begin, and on the eve of the banquet, you finally meet with Ali. Why do you come here, Your Highness? To find out what happened to my brother. And did Abe tell you anything about him, Ali? My father doesn't trust me, and he never tells me anything, but I think I have a pretty good idea what he's planning to do to you, and you should get out of here before the banquet starts. Don't worry about me, Ali. I got a plan. Yeah, got a violent plan. Let's see how that goes. Said yeah. Well, you know how they say that saying, just like the Spanish that says that a man plan and God laughs. So usually, like most plans, they go awry. You know, like the King Aves has his plans, and I have my plan. But who knows who also has a plan? And then it'll probably just be like a huge bloody mess, a la Hamlet style. Like remember that, like at the end of Hamlet. Well, spoiler alert if you don't know about Hamlet, but like everyone dies or something. I don't even remember why. Like I just remember more than that play. I remember more like the scenes and parody of it. And they should do more like parodies of like old books and whatnot. Those were always like my favorite episodes when they did like Simpsons style parodies of like either the Monkey's Paw or like Homer's Odyssey, you know. Just them butchering like old classical works. Wow, like I'm already down to 34, well 33. It's like really mowing down to all of my troops. What's to be expected? The more you progress through the game, the more resources it takes to advance because of game reasons. And more soldiers. I hear some weird scratching in like the roof of my house. I don't know, like it's probably just a cat. Like all of the neighbors' cats for some reason they like to climb up to my roof. And I don't even know what's so interesting out there. Well, I guess it's probably because like it's close to the main tree and I guess I can hunt the little birds. I have a lot of trees in my house. But yeah, back to the Hunchback of Notre Dame. In the end of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, you find out like Esmeralda's true name, and her mother was her name was I think her name was Maria. She had like a very religious name because she was the daughter of a courtesan that had decided to like quit the job and do like honest living and whatnot. And then one day they stole her baby. Somebody stole her baby, and then they left Quasimodo in his place. So then, since they stole, since they stole her baby, and she didn't want to raise the one that they swapped it out for, she just abandoned Quasimodo at the church, and then she became a nun, and who was like constantly mourning and like doing acts of self harm in the name of the Lord, in order to cope with like the despair that caused somebody like stealing their child. Because that was like something that they used to do a lot in medieval times, where like the priests would self-mortify their flesh. They will mortify their flesh. Like the perfect example that you would know in pop culture would be remember in the Da Vinci Code, the bad guy was this. I forgot what was the cult that he belonged, the Catholic sub branch that he belonged to. But he was like constantly like whipping himself after he would murder someone, as if that was gonna like erase his sins. You know? And with the banquet about to begin, everyone has been asked to lay down their weapons. Let me propose a toast to Her Highness, and may our friendship last for a lifetime. So do I. And the celebration begins. Alright, time for a boss fight. Let's see if we make it past the banquet. It'd be like, Aves, you killed my father. Prepare to die. Remember in The Princess Bride, Enrico Montoya, he repeated his name so much that he's the only character whose name I actually remember from that movie. That's why it's important in like TV shows and whatnot, like for the main character and for each other to like repeat their names in like practically every 10 minutes, because otherwise you're not gonna remember the characters' names. Alright, we're almost done with the boss fight. During the banquet, two knights partake in a battle performance to entertain the guests. The much anticipated banquet has finally started. Your Highness, I have arranged a performance you will never forget, a glorious knightly duel. Huh? Aves class is here, and two knights come forth, and these are two of my best knights, Your Highness, and I'm sure their performance will take your breath away. Sounds like fun, I can't wait to see. Well, unless it's one of those knights then like throws a knife at me or something. Or maybe all of the food is poison, or just the share, or the silverware. You could poison literally everything back then. And like they said that that some kids would like to eat like arsenic or stuff in order to build that resistance for the poison, but I don't know much about that. It just seems like a bad idea all throughout. Well, that's why they have like absorbed charcoal that whenever you that's what they would use back then whenever they were like poisoned. That the charcoal would soak out the fluids inside your stomach, and then you would just throw that up, or it will pass through your system without entering your bloodstream, because the charcoal is not something that you're obviously you eat charcoal and you can't derive any nutrients from it because it's like basically a piece of wood that you just ate, but that's burned. And then the charcoal will absorb those heavy stuff into it, so without letting it pass through your body. So yeah, that was just something that they needed to do every time they went to a sketchy dinner party at the house of a lord that murdered your father and whatnot. Because you always gotta assume that somebody's trying to poison you during that time period. It's a wonder that anyone managed to actually bother to like eat. Then again, others they would just have their staff and their helpers try out the food to see it's poison, and that sounds like a very stressful job to be like the poor bastard whose job is to check whether the food is poison or not. Like obviously that job will obviously you wouldn't survive that job for very long. Well, I mean, sadly. So yeah, back to like the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like it's interesting, even though like even though the book is called The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Hunchback, when I read the book, he barely shows up in the book. Like there's a little bit here and there, but most of the time where the action is focusing on what not Claude Frollo, the jester guy, Clopin. Yeah, I think that was his name. And just him, and then just watching most of the scenes through him. And then in the end, he has the option whether to save whether to have La Esmeralda or her goat. And since he liked La Esmeralda's goat better, he saved the goat, and then she's the one that got arrested and not her goat. But you'll be happy to know that Clopin lived happily ever after with the goat. Like the Hunchback of Notre Dame book is such a troll as far as book is concerned. Cause like the final chapter, it calls it the wedding of Quasimodo. So then you spend the entire book thinking that Quasimodo marries in the end. So you think that the book ends happily ever after, but no. It's one of the like the modality of the books back then was that for a book to end, the main character has to die. Otherwise, they were gonna do an illegal sequel, Don Quixote style. Because like Don Quixote, after the first book, Cervantes he left his main character alive, but then they brought out an unauthorized sequel. Both knights grab their shields and lances and then mount their horses. Wait, so they're having like a mounted fight indoors? Is the ballroom even big enough for a horse to be running around there? And what if like people make noises at the horse and then the horses get nervous and then they start jumping everywhere like and on top of people? Like a horse can really kill a person. Not by choice but by accident. Like anyone who's ever gotten a horse kick to the face can tell you that those horses pack a kick or a punch or whatever. When the knights dash out at one another, their weapons collide, producing deafening noise. Bang. And one of the knights suddenly turns you and he hurls his lance right at you. Ha! Watch out, your highness. And while the lance flying in your direction and your life is in imminent danger. You know, you would think that they would have used a more subtle way of like assassinating the main character. And no poison, just a flat out throwing like a javelin at someone. That's weak sauce. Man, like, I mean, especially since the main character has like always been like a fighting a war and is a seasoned fighter and whatnot, so and she has been used to ambushes, so like just throwing a random spear, like you got a bunch of advisors like thinking ways to assassinate people, and that's like the best you can come up with, like throwing a spear at someone. Whatever. I guess he figured that since that stupid throwing a weapon at someone work on the main character's father, that it's gonna work on the daughter as well. Like always assume, always like be ready for an assassination attempt if you're like in a remote position of power and whatnot. There's always somebody like trying to hurt you, because that's just the way the world rolls in medieval times. One of the knights suddenly attacks you and your life is hanging by a thread. Oh wait, so the spear actually connected? Well, that sucks. The performance that Aves arranged was nothing but a plan to assassinate you, and one of the knights hurls his lance right at you. Willing to put her life on the line, Ali steps in front of you and spreads out her arms. Your Highness, be careful. Ali. Greg pulls a dagger out of his boot and throws it at the lance. Arg. The dagger strikes the lance in midair, changing its direction, and as a result, the lance hits the wall just a few feet away from you. Aves, you vile traitor, and how dare you attack our lord? Oh, we should have known it was a trap. Yeah, and like the whole thing of dangling in front of you the information about your missing brother, and like, well, they just trap the guy and then like get the Spanish Inquisition working on him, and he'll be squealing the information after a day or two. But you know, you gotta like go to the banquet and figure the trap. And plus, good food. You always gotta go to all of the banquets if there's good food to be had, even if there's a risk that it might be poison. But then again, I'm a very food motivated person. I'll go anywhere as long as there's awesome food. Oh, we're in like chapter 61. Like, I wonder how many chapters this game has. It. Like, I seen like there are scenes that are closed off based on progress as high as chapter 90. So I at least know that this game has 90 chapters. So as I'm like getting close to, but more than past the halfway point maybe, unless if they do an update and then they add more chapters. Because that's the thing with like most mobile games that they don't truly end. They don't have like a canonical end as long as they add more stuff to it. Which is like the biggest difference between normal console games, that they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. Except when in video games when they add a new ending but they tie it to the DLC. Like I remember that they did that to like Dragon Age Inquisition, that the true ending, quote unquote, the one where Solas does some bunch of nonsense and whatnot, it was tied behind paid DLC. That was like a bit annoying. I also don't like that that it's all revolving around Solas the Dread Wolf. He was always like an annoying character, but I am divagating. Like, let's go back to talking about like the Hunchback of Notre Dame between the fighting scenes. Cause it's like a very beloved Disney movie and whatnot, and a lot of people are not familiar with like the actual character of the Hunchback. Like the book was so popular that it's actually one of the like when the movie technology came about. Eh, they had to. That was one of the first movies that they made, of the book, or one of the first movie adaptations of the book, The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Like they even paid the rights to, I think the hero was still alive, or maybe his family, in order to adapt the book or the Hunchback into like into a live action into a movie. And also Victor Hugo, the ending of his Hunchback of Notre Dame book was so disliked that he was forced to change it, but he didn't change his original book. He made a play focusing on La Esmeralda, unlike the dancer Romani made it. Well, they call them gypsies, because that's what they used to call the Romani people in like the 18,000s and whatnot. And also like the 1500 and whatnot. But my brother tells me that they prefer to be called Romani. The throne usurper remains calm even now that his plan has failed. Your Highness, do not worry, I still have a few more tricks up my sleeve. Interesting, I'd love to see what else you have in store for me, you old bastard. I'm sure you'll love what you'll see, and come out, my knights, and kill this bumbling idiot. All of a sudden, Aves Knight emerge from the dark corners of the room and surround you. Now time to have an open confrontation, because that's what everything's been leading up to. Yeah, they mean like this. Like at the end of the day, all of that shivering, pomp, and decorum, and when it comes for time, when it comes to earning victory, like it's always like the tyrants and whatnot, or just regular people that want to hang on to power. They would just go for like dirty tactics, for like underhanded tactics and whatnot, and ambushes. And at the end of the day, we still didn't find out what happened to the girl's missing brother. Was he missing? Is he dead? Is he alive? Is he like Schrodinger's cat inside a box that keeps him in a perpetual state of being dead and alive? As the Throne Usurper finally reveals his scheme, and you find yourself surrounded by his soldiers. During the banquet, Aves is set up an ambush and you're now trapped and have nowhere left to escape. You're even more stupid than your father, and who in their right mind would walk straight into a lion's den just because of their dead brother? My brother's not dead. Haha, really, stop daydreaming, you silly little girl. Father, you already took my love away from me, and please spare my friend, please. Time will heal our wounds, my sweet little girl. Nice kill, that moron. As the Throne Usurper backs out his daughter and just moments away from being slayed by his knights. Well, that guy Abbas reminds me a bit of the Tyrant King from like Berserk. That he murdered, that he tried to torture her to death his best knight Griffin, just because he didn't like that Griffin had slept with his princess daughter before he got a chance to. Cause the crazy king had like the heart for his own daughter, which was something that wasn't that tended to happen a lot in medieval times, and also in modern times too. Like sadistic, psychotic people that since they have so much power, they feel that they can get away with everything, and they usually do until somebody stabs them with a pointy end. But yeah, but that's why I think Abbas murdered his daughter's fiance because he was jealous that the daughter liked her boyfriend more than he liked her own father because he be nuts. Because you gotta consider that Abbas hasn't gotten a new husband for his daughter yet, so it just any minute now it's gonna get extra creepy a la Berserk style. Or maybe I'm just speculating. Or maybe I've been reading too much in mangas. I like the Berserk manga. But it's one of those mangas that like it takes also place in medieval times. It said that like in the golden like the first part of Berserk is him fighting like supernatural demon forces, but then it goes to the golden arc, which is the only one that they ever bothered to adapt. It's the only one that all of the OVAs, they always adapt the golden arc, which is pretty down to earth with very little magical elements. Like the first supernatural thing that happens is that they enter, they're taking over a fort, Griffin and Guts and all of the other knights, and then the champion of the enemy, when he feels himself threatened, since he sees that they're fighting so well, he sheds his human skin, and then you find out that it's a giant Taurus demon, and then it goes from being like something normal down to earth to like supernatural horror because like you've been spending all of this time fighting normal humans made of flesh and blood, and then suddenly a creature that you only read about in books is like standing right in front of you in the flesh, tearing your allies and your friends limb for limb. You know, kind of like how it would go down in like the real world if everything like makes sense, and then suddenly you find yourself fighting like a Dark Souls boss in the flesh. Not the tiny human ones, but like a giant one of those giant demons. Like a lot of the Front Software bosses are taken directly from like the Berserk manga, especially like the Taurus demon, and a couple of ones, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But I'm getting distracted here. I'm already down to like 10 million nights. Like I think if I make it to the end of this chapter, that's gonna be as far as I'll be able to push the main plot forward for a bit until I can show up my resources. That was more or less decent enough. Are we already at the end? Let me see. I think I'm already close to like the end of the chapter. When Aves gives his knights a command to kill you, your life seems to be hanging by a thread. But his knights don't even budge. Aves, it looks like your knights don't really feel like killing me. What in the world are you waiting for? This is your chance to win glory. Just as Aves finishes his last sentence, the knights suddenly turn on him and point their swords towards him. So it paid off well to show mercy to Aves' knights. Because really, at the end of the day, the throne and all of his knights belongs to me. I mean, just because you murder the previous ruler and you sit in his fancy chair doesn't mean that his loyal soldiers are just gonna swear fealty to you just because you got on the fancy chair. But then again, at least in the Scorpion King, the movie, as soon as Matthias, or as everyone knows in The Rock, kills the final boss, all of the fighters of the final boss were fealty to him. But in reality, it would just be like a big skirmish, cause you don't just like hold power because of your physical strength and whatnot. Like a lot of people are, if you're like financially beneficial to someone, there's a good chance that they will not take your death lightly. Or it might turn into Game of Thrones where everyone fighting over the empty throne. I'm already the soldiers. Do I have enough to push through it? Well, I guess I could push through it and see if I can get from the outside a few more resources to finish the chapter. Aves the Throne Usurper wanted to kill you, but his knights seem to have turned the tables on him. What are you doing? I'm not the one you're supposed to kill. One of his knights suddenly steps out of the crowd, but you're the only one we want to kill. The knight takes his helmet out to reveal his true identity. It's Kerben. Father, did you ever think we'll become each other's sworn enemies? Alright, so it's gonna go down Oedipus Rex style, where the son of the king kills, where the son kills. Well, not really, because Oedipus didn't know he was murdering his father. Well, this one is definitely like 100% aware that he's killing his own man. But mostly because his father murdered his mother. So that's what you do. If your dad kills your mom, then by medieval laws, you're like allowed to take like your bloody revenge, and then eye for an eye style. Oh, but that reminds me of like a Greek tragedy. Well, not so much tragedies. They mention the Furies a lot, but they don't usually write plays about them because people are scared of them. So then, I think his name was Diomedes. Like his wife. No, not his wife. Diomedes' mother kills her husband Agamemnon because while he was away in war, she got herself a lover because she was expecting for her husband not to survive the war. But then when the husband came back, and then he'd be like, wait, what the hell's going on here? So then that the wife, she hid the fact that she had a lover, even though everyone knew that she did. So then during the dinner celebration party, she and her lover ambushes her husband in the shower, and then she stabs him to death. And then she throws her husband unceremoniously off a cliff, and then that's the end of that. But then when the son sees that his mother murdered his father, he then goes and murders his mother. So then the Furies, the goddesses of vengeance, they start hunting Diomedes. Because even though his mother was a criminal, and she wasn't gonna get persecuted for murdering her husband because she was a freaking queen, and he was a prince and whatnot. Nothing changes the fact that according to the Greek goddesses of vengeance, he committed fratricide. well, matricide in this case, and what he did was wrong. So then they were like constantly hounding him and like making him feel guilty for what he did. Oh yeah, I definitely, I definitely don't have enough resources to push through this chapter, but maybe I can make it past this battle. We'll see. Yeah, I'm definitely don't have enough to finish this chapter. Well, hopefully I can finish this little stage. Let's just see how that goes. Oh man, that was only one of them made it. Oh yeah, that definitely was cutting it a little too close for comfort. Let me see if my Minister of Interior got a couple of more knights. Well, and maybe I have some more knights. Nope. Well, I guess this is as far as we go as far as the plot is concerned because I don't have any more knights to finish to push the plot forward. But I hope you have fun watching this stream. Please give a like and subscribe. Bye bye and God bless.